Right, 23rd of April, 9 o'clock. Second day of my day off. So I've got tomorrow off as well, and then I'm back to work Friday. Then I've got the Monday off. Let me show you what I'm up to today. Quick one. So upstairs, bring 10 plasterboards upstairs. Because B&Q can do a similar delivery on the same day, but anyway, that's a different story. Let's not worry about that. So I had upstairs. I took the insulation down there, bring them through the house because I had a little boo-boo there. So I couldn't bring them upstairs through there. So anyway, what I've been doing, I brought 10 up, and yesterday I put that one on, that one on, that one on. Did some wiring work downstairs and I put that one on as well. I cut the little hole there for the socket that I've got to do. I did a little repair on that one. I'm going to put that one back on. The other boards are up for the ceiling, so I need 4 boards for this ceiling. But before I do the ceiling, what I'm going to do, because the loft insulation is going to be up that high, it's not going to be in the rafters, it's going to be on the rafters. That section there, I've got to put insulation in the in those joists basically from that bottom piece, because that's obviously the walls there. That's insulated on the wall, and then I'll have this thermal bridge here, and the heat can basically go up through the ceiling and get out through there. So I've got to stop that. So I'm going to put insulation. I've got plenty of insulation out. So I just cut it, put it into these joists along here, all along here, along there. So it's easy to do that from from the bottom rather than up. So I'm going to do that first, then put these ceilings up here. So I've got to do basically 3 rows, 3 boards, and then a board with cuts there, so I can bring that up easily. So anyway, so at the moment, the plan today, I've got to do a few things today. So plan today is basically, I've got this ready with its grommet. I've just chopped that off with the neighbour's hammer thing. I've just got to put another bit of a plasterboard behind that, screw that in so it comes out there, so it's fine for the screws. As I go along as well, I'm also going to do the bricks. So I need to do 2 bricks there, a brick there. The rest are okay, maybe a little bit there under that one with the adhesive, and then whack it back in there. I'll put a temporary fix on him because when they were doing the pipe work, they moved my frame out the way, the buggers. So I've just taken the screws out, put a temporary one there. I took the old flue out yesterday. I'm going to put pink plasterboard there as well. So I've got 2 more there. I'm going to put 1 more there. Then do a bit of fixing up there first before I do him, actually. Well, I'll do him and make some extra so I can fix them up as well. And him, and it'll go off. So I'll put that one on. Then cut the pink board for him. Put this one on with the pink board. So then that's done and he's done. And then downstairs, I've got to put the 2 wires for the ovens into the fuse box with 20 amp fuses. So I've got to do that. I've got to think about putting the sockets on. So behind this wall, let me show you. In this wall, basically, there's a socket there that I've got to connect 2 up to from the new extension, which goes all the way down to the fuse board. So that's an easy one. And then there's another one here for this ring main, which is on the existing ring main. But there's a 3rd wire there, which I think is a spur to a socket downstairs. So I just need to double check that as well. And then tomorrow I've got to do 1 more socket downstairs. I've got to move this cupboard, get the missus to empty it, and then I'm going to move that cupboard downstairs in the room. I'll show you that in a minute. So I can go and mix this up. Let me show you it anyway. I can go through the house now. Let's go through this way, and then I've got to close off that insulation once I've done this. Right, let me show you what I mean. So I'm going to go downstairs and do some mixing up anyway of that adhesive. So I'm going to do the first adhesive thing. Cut a little bit more plasterboard for him. Fit him up there. So, let me show you what else I've been up to. I've boarded all of this all along here. I'll put this switch here as well. So if you ever put a bed here, and you want to get up in the middle of the night, turn your lights off. This is for the lights, basically. It's with the main light switch over there. So I've done all this. I haven't fixed these on yet. I've got to glue them down. I've done the sides there, both sides, and I haven't done the top bit because I've got to mess with this window yet. So all this that's been done. Obviously that's been created. I put the frame in there. I've put the insulation on one side, insulation's got to go in on that side, and then I'm going to use backer board here. So I'm waiting. I've got backer board, but I'm not going to put that on yet. This is all done. Frame's going to go here. I'll put some stud, let me show you here. Put stud work here like this across here. So the frame can fix here. There's one there. See, I've tested it with the screw and there's one at the bottom. And the frame will go on the other side. This is for the boot room. Basically, this timber now I can fix on. So we can have a boot room here. So once I put this timber on here, I can put a plasterboard then across there. Easy enough. I've got to put a noggin for the height of the bench that the missus has told me here. 40 centimeters. So I'm going to put a noggin there, and then the bench will fit across there and across there. And maybe one noggin at the top. And then there's basically going to be series of boxes along here, along here, along here, along there, corresponding to that, and then you can put the shoes basically in there. So that's just going to be put on, but that's easy enough. That's a doddle. So this is all insulated, right? Okay, got to put plasterboard here. Right, let me show you this bit. This is an interesting bit. So I've made some use of my eye joists here. So I've got to do one more. I've got to rip down basically a 18 mil board to fit in here, because this has got to be cut to 120. So basically the recess has been created. I've created this recess, right, for the fridge, for the American style freezer, right? But it comes out to 600. So that's 240. I need another 120, which will be that one there, with a board ripped on maybe both sides and in there, and then I can put plasterboard all across there and on that side, ripped in there, and put plasterboard there, ripped in there, plasterboard there. Yeah, so then I can put plasterboards in there. I've got my pink board around here somewhere, so I can put that along there, bring it forward, and then I can finish that off there as well, because you've got to put pink plasterboard over the steels to keep it fire protection. Oh, sorry. Same with that one there. All these are done. Just got to turn them on. Then the only other thing I've got to do is two things here in this area. I need a heat alarm and a smoke alarm, which I've just got to test out the wiring circuit for. I think that wiring circuit effectively has got to be, let me put him back up there. Wiring circuit, I think effectively has got to be from, I can do it from the light circuit, I think, or I've got to really, ideally though, back to the existing house's smoke alarms, heat alarm. So basically it comes on here, it goes on there as well. So I can do that, that's easy enough. Just got to stick a wire in. And then the other thing I want to do is external lights. I put another spur here. A fuse switch like that there, which will be hidden in the cupboard, and it'll be for the external lights, or I might put it there actually. So it's basically, it can go through the cupboards. Put it there. Now it's whether I take it a fuse off this, or I add that to the ring main, and then from there you can go external there. But basically that's the last thing I'm gonna try and do that on Monday. There's the other thing I was going to show you. So the plan today is get those boards on upstairs, finish that socket off upstairs, and then let me show you this. This is the bit I've got to do inside. Get the sockets working upstairs. I'm going to try and get them done, and then if I'm going to mess around here, so there's the internal light switch for those three light switches over there. So that's basically, I'm going to put it in some sheething and bring it down here. I'm not going to make a mess here and just put it in there on a surface mounted box for now. And then when we do this room, is what we can do in this room is that fireplace is going to go, that TV is going to come onto this wall with more sockets here. I'm going to put new ceiling on here, and then we're going to have an L-shaped sofa here. So that's the time then to mess with that and basically put that into the wall. Then the other thing I need to do is, this is my cable, 2.5mm cable for the oven sockets. They need to go across and into the meter, which is opposite that wall. So I'm just going to do that. So yeah, so do the plan today. Then I've got to pick up Yusuf a bit later on, 1:45. No, 2:45. But I've got to probably leave about 1:30. Do a bit of shopping on the way as well, so I don't mess around. And then this evening, I can carry on doing insulation and plasterboarding there without disturbing the boys or anything. And then tomorrow, last bit of wiring on that side. Yeah. And then, yeah, we'll see how we go. Right, I'll catch you later.